My name is Miss Melissa, and I am a teaching artist in the PACE Art program. We integrate the arts with classroom curriculum. I'll be working with you all year through these videos. We're going to explore lots of different subjects throughout the year. You'll recognize some of the things you're learning with your teacher, but we will be learning about them with visual art or creative movement. You might be watching this today in your classroom, or maybe you're watching from home. We're coming to you today thanks to the Acadiana Center for the Arts and the Lafayette Parish School System. You can find these videos anytime through the Lafayette Parish School System website or the Acadiana Center for the Arts YouTube channel. Let me introduce myself. My name is Melissa Mark. I am a visual artist and I like to draw, paint, and sculpt. I also like to take photographs. So, what do you think of when you think of visual art? Maybe you think of drawings of your family, or maybe paintings of flowers. Do you think of paper airplanes? Or maybe you even think of sculptures made out of clay. Today we are going to learn about lines. All visual art is made of lines and shapes, and we are going to do this today by making patterns of lines with construction paper and markers. These are the supplies that you will need today. You're going to need 3 sheets of construction paper. I have some here. You can choose any colors that you like. You're also going to need 1 pair of scissors, 1 glue stick. Now, if you don't have glue stick, you could use a bottle of glue. That would be fine. And lastly, you are going to need your box of assorted markers. Let me show you. I just pulled out a few here, if you can see that. Okay? And if you don't have markers, you could always use crayons. So what I want you to do is pause the video, go ahead and gather your supplies, and I will be here when you get back. Before we start, I want to show you some examples of artwork where you can see different types of lines. Look at the 3 different examples. Do you notice how they are similar? Think about all the different ways that they could be similar. They all have different colors. All of these are made with paper. They all have different lines. Here's some straight lines. Here's some curvy lines. Here's more straight lines here. Here's curvy lines. Okay? And they even have patterns on some of the paper. Did you notice? Like, look at the green sheet of paper here. Did you notice some patterns here? And they're all in black, like some black squiggly lines, right? Look at this. This has a pattern on it, right? And then this. There's patterns on these. So they're all similar, but then they're also different. How are they different? Well, the colors are different, right? Each one has a different color, and each one has different lines, and just the direction of the lines. Look at the straight lines here. They're going like at a slant, at a diagonal, okay? Let's look at, let's see, the straight lines here. Again, they're going at a diagonal. And if you look at some of the curvy lines are, you know, going side to side and up and down. And then here we have some curvy lines going diagonal. So the lines are going in different directions. And another thing, I don't know, did you notice that all the patterns are different on the pieces of paper? Speaking of patterns that are different, did you know that I actually use coupon paper, because I made these. I use coupon paper. That's the paper that you get in the mail that most people just throw away, right? To go shopping and things. So yeah, I actually use coupon paper here, and then this is some really cool, just a cool pattern that I found on magazine paper. And then here, I actually made my own patterns. So for today, we are going to make our own pattern paper, just like here. I'm going to show you how to make your own patterns, okay? But if you would like, you can use coupon paper. This is what I was telling you. You see? That's the same thing that I put here. And those are actually squares. I mean, you can cut your straight lines to make squares if you want to, but just wanted to show you that. And this, guess where I got this from? Magazines. This is magazine paper. You see, you can find some really cool patterns. So I wanted to show you that because these are your other options. Since we are going to make our own pattern paper, I need to show you what lines are. So for this example, I actually drew lines to make my pattern. So let's go over these together. Here we have a straight line, and you can say this with me, straight line. Okay, you can turn these lines any way you want. Remember, I talked about going up and down, or side to side, or diagonal. So all these lines can go in any direction. This is a straight, just like I have here. Here we have a zigzag line. You can say this with me, zigzag line. This zigzag line can also go in different directions. I'm going to show you something really neat with this one in a minute. Here we have something called a curvy line. Can you say that with me? Curvy line. Remember, I showed you lots of different curvy lines. We're going to make some of those too. And last, I have a wavy line. Say that with me. Wavy line. Again, all these lines can go in any direction. Now, let's look at these two. We're going to do something special with the wavy lines and the zigzag lines. That's how we're going to make our pattern paper. So, now we can actually get started creating our cool design. So I went ahead and I got all my supplies ready to go at my work table. So once you get your 3 sheets of construction paper, I want you to choose one. I chose purple. You can choose blue or yellow, red, whatever color you want. Choose one sheet of paper and it's going to stay on your table. You're not going to do anything to that except glue your pieces. So this is going to be my foundation, okay? I'm leaving this paper alone. Now your other 2 sheets, we are going to use these to make our lines and our pattern paper of lines. So what I want you to do is copy off of me. You're going to take both of these sheets of paper and stack them up. And we're going to fold it in half like a book. And we can do it at the same time. Okay, you want to make sure the lines, the edge of the papers line up. It makes a straight line. Make sure your corners match and line up. And then when you get that, then you press and make a big crease. It looks like a book. Now, if you do something like this, that's like a hot dog, huh? We don't want a giant hot dog. And that's okay. Just fold it into a book. Now, once you do this, we're going to cut these 2 papers in half. So, just follow me. Get your scissors. And just a quick review on how to use scissors. Some people forget. The little hole on top is for your thumb, and the big hole on the bottom are for your fingers to slide in, okay? That way we don't cut upside down. And then I like to think of the pointed part of the scissors kind of like an alligator's mouth. Doesn't it kind of look like an alligator's mouth? Whenever you open and close, kind of like chomping, right? So if you ever hear me say keep the mouth open, I mean the scissors. All right, so whenever we cut, we always want to have the mouth of the scissors open very wide. And we're going to go slow. So let's cut one at a time. So you notice the paper, and your paper is always going to go way in the back of the mouth of the scissors. Because if you just, keep it closed and nip, it's going to be, it's going to mess up. So always open the mouth of the scissors wide. And there we go. Cut that in half, and we can cut the other one. Now keep one of them down. We're just cutting the ones that we folded. So open wide and close all the way. And always put the paper in back of the mouth of the scissors. Alright, so now you should have 2 sheets of one color and 2 sheets of another. Now, we are going to get rid of one of each, okay? So, I want you to put these 2 aside, inside of your desk, whatever. We don't need it. And now, this is all we need. Okay, so now we can put the scissors up for a minute. I want you to take a marker and notice really quick, like one of these is really dark and one of them is light, okay? We're going to draw later on, and let me just ask you, do you think if I'm going to draw on my black paper, I'm going to be able to see it? No. So I know that I have to draw on one sheet. I'm going to want it to be light. So I'm going to put my light paper aside because we're not going to draw right now. I just need you to cut. So if you have a dark and a light like this, you can just put your light one aside so we can draw on the light one later, okay? So now I have my one sheet of paper. We're going to cut straight and curvy lines. And we're going to make 4 straight lines and 4 or 5 curvy lines. So let's do this together. Now we have to draw a little bit on this, but this is not going to be our pattern paper. So let's just, about halfway, let's draw 4 straight lines. That was 1. This is 2. This is 3. And look, I can move this here for you to see. It looks just like this. We're just making 4 of these. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to make some curvy lines any way you'd like. You can draw the curve this way, or you can draw it this way, whichever way you want. We're going to draw 5 of these. So watch. 1. That's okay if you don't get exactly 5. 2. This is 3. This is 4. 1 more. 5. And you know what? You're not even going to use all of these. So if you only got 3 straight lines and 4 curvies, it's fine. Okay? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 straight lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 curvy lines. Now, we're going to cut these out so we can have big straight lines and big curvy lines on our paper. See? So take your time and cut each one of these out. Now I don't mind the marker showing. See, I can push this aside. That doesn't bother me at all. If it bothers you, you can just flip it over. So now I have 4 straight lines, and now I'm going to see if I can get 4 curvy. Now, it's much easier to cut a straight line than a curvy line, so I'm going to show you a trick. when you open the mouth of the scissors really big and you stick the paper in the back, you can turn your scissors. Okay, so watch, I'll show you. You see, I'm keeping this straight, and now I'm going to turn. I'm turning my scissors. See that? So you can turn your scissors, or you can keep your scissors straight and you could turn your paper. These are just little tricks, okay? You'll get better at cutting. I like to show my students different tricks. So you just cut these out the best way you can. Take your time, because remember, when you cut a curvy line, you're going to have to turn the paper or the scissors a little bit. And make sure your fingers are not in the way. My fingers are holding it, but I'm keeping it away from my scissors, okay? So take your time. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, and here we go with 4. All right. So you want to have about 4 curvy lines and 4 straight lines. And now we can make our pattern paper. Before we do that, keep in mind, if I didn't tell you, I want to tell you now, if you need some more time, you can always pause the video and I will be here when you get back. If you need to catch up, please pause the video. I think you're doing a great job. Now we're going to make our pattern paper with wavy lines and zigzag lines. So that last sheet of paper that I told you to save, that was light, we're going to fold that in half like a book, just like we did earlier. Make the lines line up and the corners touch. Okay? Let me push this aside. We don't need these right now. And let's focus on this wavy line. You can pick whatever color you like. I'm going to choose red. You can pick orange, black, whatever you want. And what I want to do with you, I want you to draw this wavy line just like this. And we're going to repeat it. Now I'm going up and down. Now, I feel I could even go side to side and make a smaller one. You can make some really tiny ones if you want. I feel very relaxed when I'm drawing this. What does this wavy line remind you of? Do you think of a squiggly worm, or maybe the waves at the beach? There we go. So you're going to fill up your whole page with wavy lines going in different directions, up and down, side to side, some small ones, some big ones, okay? And then when you're done with this side, we're going to now draw, remember this one? This is called a zigzag line. I'm going to choose a different colored marker. Now, zigzag lines don't have bumps like wavy lines. They have these points, right? They're very pointed and it goes up and down. What do you think of when you think of, what do zigzag lines remind you of? Do you think of maybe like some shark's teeth? Or maybe lightning bolts? Does lightning and do shark's teeth make you feel relaxed? I don't. It has a very, kind of edgy feel to it, even while I'm drawing it. I think that looks pretty good. So you're going to fill up both of your pages with zigzag lines. Well, both sides. One with zigzag, one with wavy. Okay, so you want to finish that, and now guess what we're going to do? we're going to cut out more straight lines and curvy lines just like we did. So we can start gluing this on our paper. We just made our own pattern paper. I'm going to cut a few straight lines. Now we just practiced doing this, so we're not even going to draw it. All you have to do is open and close. You're going to get really good, and you know what? We're not even going to use all of this. I'm just cutting some out, okay? That way you have choices. Now, we can cut curvy ones out of here. Remember how to turn your scissors, okay? Or turn your paper. Pretty neat, huh? I really like this pattern paper. I can't wait for us to be able to make some neat designs with our straight and curvy line cutout shapes. Alright, so some of you are probably still cutting, and that's fine. Keep on cutting, because while you're cutting, you can take a look, and I'm just going to show you how to play around with some designs. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and grab my solid pieces. These are my straight lines. Now, did you notice that even though it's a straight line, what shape does it look like? You guessed it. Lines make shapes. You can make something like this, right? I'm just going to play around. So I have up and down, and I have side to side straight lines. Now watch. Look at what I just did. I just turned my straight lines at a slant called diagonal. Doesn't that look cool? I'm going to do something else. So it's almost like a puzzle. Now you get to really play and be super creative. Taking my two curvy lines. Look at that. Isn't that neat? I can even, go this way. Or maybe, so I'm just keep cutting your, and go that way. Oh, I like that. That's super cool. Now, what if I don't want to use the black? Or maybe just put some black, and I could use, or whatever color you have, I could start using my pattern paper, right? You could even cut these. Let's see. Why don't we do this? Now, if you wanted to, you don't have to make a design, balance on each side. You could just put lines going straight across. You could really do whatever you want. You just want to make some type of pattern. See, I kind of like that. There's so many choices, right? So now, look at this. You can put some of these on the inside. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to cut these in half. Maybe that way I can get a smaller straight line, which kind of looks like a rectangle. You see? You could even cut these. Now, I'm going to show you something. I do not, please do not cut something this small, okay? It needs to be, it needs to fit inside the middle of your palm, because you're not going to have time to finish. So if you decide to cut your straight lines, or even some of your curvy lines, maybe just cut them in half, okay? Because we don't want to have lots of tiny pieces of shapes, because that's not going to be too much fun. It's going to take forever and we'll lose them. I kind of like this, but I want some more. I like the patterns on here. Like, there's more patterns on this one. I'm just trimming if I need, but I just cut mine in half. I don't think I did too much. I kind of like that. So you don't even have to put anything in the middle. You can put, I'm not really sure what I want to do. Maybe I can cut this one in half and make it smaller. circle square. I like that. All right, so I would say about 10 to 15 curvy and straight lines. So I like to put something in the center. You don't have to. Wherever you think the middle is. You see how I put the glue? I turned it over. This does not take long. It's so easy. I love using glue sticks. You turn it over and you just rub it and press it down for a few seconds and stick. Rub it and stick. Now, if you are using a glue bottle, I don't know if I need to put those in there. Let's see. I'm already changing my mind. If you're using a glue bottle, you're just going to put a dot. All you need is a dot. And most of the glue bottles I have seen have an orange little cap, and you just twist the orange cap. And then you gently squeeze and the glue comes out. And you just squeeze a dot. And if you were to squeeze a dot, I would put it right in the middle like that. And that's all you need. And then you would press. Okay? The glue sticks we can just kind of rub in the middle. And I'm just taking my time. I played around with my line designs. I showed you different things you can do. Once you find the place, you just turn it over and glue. You see that? Just one time. Look how easy. And the neat thing about this is if you happen to be in a classroom, everyone is going to have a different design with different colors. I have a little surprise to show you if that's the case. And if you're not in a classroom and you're at home, you can make several of these with different colored paper. All right. Let me check. If you have any little pieces sticking up, you just press it down. So, and again, if you need to pause the video, feel free and do that. I think I'm happy. Let's see if I want to add. Well, you know what? I'm going to put 2 squares in the corner. I just feel like I need to put something black in the corner. It was missing some black. I don't know why. It's just, I think it would look good. Everybody has their own sense of design of what you think looks good. That makes a total difference. Now I am definitely finished. I'm going to put my cap back on so it stays shut and it doesn't dry up, and that's it. So if you need to pause, you can, but finish up your design and I'm going to show you a surprise. You did a great job. And here it is. This is the surprise. I wanted to show you this print that I actually got out of this book. But before I show you the book, look real close. Do you see these different square designs? Pretend that each one was what your classmates made. Imagine if y'all would put all of these together, how cool that would look. So I hope I inspired you to do this. And look, let me show you where I got this from. It's a print that I copied from this great art book called Adventures in Art. I'm so glad that you joined me today. We learned so many things. We learned how to create a cool design with all kinds of lines, while also making our own pattern paper with lines. Do you remember the 4 lines that we learned about today? Straight lines, curvy lines, zigzag, and wavy. I hope you had fun creating this design with me. And as you go through your week, I want you to try to notice these lines. Maybe if you're in the school bus looking out the window or a car looking out the window, maybe see if you notice some of these lines just on street signs. Maybe you'll notice some of these lines at the playground, or maybe even at home in the kitchen. You'll be surprised of what you can find. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you next time.